Hello everybody, Giselle Grenier here from artplace.ca. In today's video, I'm going to be making an artist trading card with a Victorian vintage theme for a swap. And I'm going to be making these, a whole series of these, relatively short, and I'm going to be following a certain step of processes. So the first thing, and I've got a whole bunch of stuff laid out here, and on my blog I'm going to have pictures of my layout, and Chaos is right here, and cute little picture before I started working. I have to wait. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got my ATC here cut out of 300-pound watercolor paper. If you've never done an ATC before, visit artplace.ca, and you can click on the ATC link in the menu, and I've got a little video there about an intro to ATCs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prime the card, the watercolor paper, with a thin but even coat of DecoArt Media white gesso. And I'm using my number 8 bristle brush because I want to get right into the pores of the paper. And what this will do, well, first of all, it'll prep the paper because we're not doing watercolors on this. And when I put paint, the gesso is going to hold the paint, and the paint's not going to seep into the paper. The other side really doesn't need to be done because I'm going to be stamping just some journal lines so I can write down information about the swap, but I might as well. And usually I use an ATC stamp for this, but I'm not going to this time. And I'm working on my unstick craft mat, so that's why I don't need to use a palette anymore. Alright, so put that aside. And this also comes in black if you want to use that. And I'm not even going to bother cleaning that up. So my idea for this is I'm going to be doing a background, adding some texture, a collage, and a sentiment. And what I thought I would do is, other than I think the collage and the wording, for this one here I'm going to use regular supplies. So I'm not going to use anything specific for the holiday season. I'm going to use regular supplies. So regular stencils, regular decoupage paper, regular brushes, regular everything except for this. Now all the graphics that I'm going to be using, printable graphics, I got from Graphics Fairy, and I'll have a link to that in the video. So I got this little girl here. I hate fussy cutting, but it wasn't too bad. So I'm going to be putting a background, and my idea is, because she's got a large cut here, I'm going to be using this little wood sentiment here, and I'm going to be working it like that. So let's see, that's already dry. So, and this here is a gloss enamel stick-on stencil from DecoArt, used for glass painting, but I like these because they're adhesive and they're perfect for ATCs. So I'm looking at doing that, and then I'm going to, my idea, I've never found a use for this stuff. So I'm going to use a little bit of that. And this is the new line of decoupage paper from DecoArt. This was called Gold Trends. You don't have to use everything holiday themed, but I will tell you I am going to hit Michael's today because they've got an amazing sale on. I am going to hit that store today for some trim. So I'm liking that. So I'll either put the stencil on top or behind, I don't know yet. But I'm looking at something like this. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it this way. And then the little girl, and then the sentiment. And these I bought at Michael's as well. They're not the greatest quality. The ones that are long, they broke in half. So they're not the greatest quality. For peeling off. They're actually quite nice, but peeling them off the paper off the plastic. You got to be really careful. So I'm thinking something like that. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use DecoArt Media Matte Medium. And I'm going to use my 3/4 inch flat brush. I lied. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Silly me. Silly me, silly me, silly me. Didn't I just say I was going to do the background? Well, while we're here, even with the matte medium on my brush, I can still use that. And that's, you know what? Let's put a little bit of interference in there. And it'll, so this is interference green with the DecoArt Media Pearl red. It should knock down, and the red that I picked was the closest thing to the berries in there. Yeah, it toned it right down. I like that. I might as well paint the whole piece. Okay, just like something. You want to get your DNA in there, just put your fingerprint. And I'm going to get a paper towel, textured paper towel. I'm just going to press lightly. Get a little bit of texture in there. Chaos is giving yourself a bath, so if you hear some funny noises, it's not me. And let me just quickly dry this. All right, so now I'm going to put the matte medium on there. And I'm just going to put the matte medium over the entire card. It'll also protect it. You can also use decoupage medium for this. And I'm just going to line that up as close as possible to the edge. Pressing firmly. Okay, I'm going to lift it up. Oh my gosh, you should hear the noises that Chaos is making when she's giving herself a bath. Oh my goodness. Well, I like using this matte medium because it gives me quite a bit of working time. Oh, let's put a layer right there just to seal that. I'm going to get a baby wipe. Off my table, and I'm going to trim that. I can actually fold that over and make it part of the background if I wanted to. ATCs are just miniature pieces of art. There's nothing, I like to say there's nothing special about them, but you know, you can use them for trading, which makes it quite nice. I'm going to remove some of the matte medium off the actual paper because I don't want to lose the shine on that. Okay, and for stenciling, let me just put that back on there. So it has a nice thing to that. So I'm going to stencil this with a green. And this adheres nicely to that paper. And let's see. Let me get my green. I've got phthalo green blue, and we all know what happens when phthalo green blue and I meet together. I'm going to put a tiny bit of the red next to it. That'll knock it down. And then I'm going to be using DecoArt Chalk Finish Medium because I don't want this paint to be shiny. I want it to have a chalky finish, so it'll be a good contrast. Probably should have shook it before. And I'm using the Decoupage Media Fluid acrylics for this. Let's get that mixed up. That'll knock down the green a bit. So I used roughly equal parts of green and red, and then added the same mixture of the chalk finish. You can use whatever you want. I just wanted my little dots to be more matte. And I'm going to use my little stencil brush. And I'm going to dry brush the little circles. That's way too much paint, but it's easier for you to see. I'm just going to dry brush this, and the paint will actually have a really pretty matte finish over the gold. I'm not putting a lot. Take a look. Oh yeah, that's pretty. Nice finish on that. I'll put that aside. This is called Mod stencils. And you know what I can do while I'm here? Let's do this while I'm here. I'm going to take some transparent red iron oxide, and I'm going to go over here, take my dirty brush, go into that. So although it's more of a, almost like a transparent burnt sienna, when I mix in that green there, it's going to knock it down even more. Actually, let's use, I got this little sponge here, almost like a little cosmetic sponge. You can use that, or you can use an actual cosmetic sponge. I still like using the cosmetic sponge better. A little bit of green, a little bit of transparent red iron oxide. It'll just get rid of that white edge. Now, if you have a white gel pen, you can actually paint this back here as well. And I'm just going to do this here because I can always change the color, but just lightly go over it, and you can see the texture from the paper. Lightly go over it, and then you can stamp lines or whatever, or just, and then just use a white gel pen to write down your name. Working inwards, keeping it really grungy. Like I said, I could always cover it up with white if it's too much. There we go. And that can go in the water, and that's really all I need with this. It's a bit overkill with the paint, but it's easier for you to see. All right. With the leftover paint in the brush, I'm just going to quickly do this just to get rid of the white of the paper. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. You can also work the back side, because that's sometimes the way the bristles go in there. If you want to kind of kink the paper up, you might want to get something underneath. What I like doing as well with these, lightly dry brush the edge, working in toward the edge, which gives a really nice aged look without outlining. You can also outline with a pen if you want. There we go. Let's just darken this a little bit more. There we are. Put that in the water. I have to trim that. She's beautiful, 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 beautiful. Graphics Fairy has the most amazing... Oh, and then you can also turn it around and do it differently. You can do it that way, or you can do it this way. So that's up to you. It's kind of pretty too, eh? You guys can't see this, but on my monitor I've got this stupid focus thing. I can't see. I can't see. Composition wise, I like it better this way. There we go. Yeah, I want more of the contrast in the red coming out this way. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. All right, so let me glue her down. And I'm going to put this over the whole card again. And all this is going to do is just give me a little bit of extra glue here. And then I'll take that, come down here. If you want to use pop dots, you can. Use whatever you have in your stash. That's the whole beauty of doing these. Use what you have. I'll just put a little bit more medium on that. And if you like the idea of your collage work being glossy, still put the medium on there to really seal her in there, and then come back in with a gloss varnish. Triple thick is beautiful for this type of technique. It's really nice. So I'm going in with the matte medium on the edge. Make sure there's good amount of glue on there. Just go with the paper towel and just gently pick up the excess medium because I didn't want to lose the gloss on the paper. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Ooh. All right, so that's what I'm thinking. So what I want to do, the red is tied into the berries, the green is tied into the berries, the gold is tied into her more of a neutral gold to her dress. So I want to tie in this bright gold into this here. So I'm going to use DecoArt Dazzling Metallics Bright Brass. And use a small brush, and I'm not going to prime this with gesso first because this metallic is slightly transparent. I want the texture of the wood to show through. And I'm also not going to worry about the sides because, well, now that I did it, the sides have a nice dark brown edge to it, almost like it was burnt, which is very likely because when they're cut with their die cut machine, which is like a saw, it would probably burn the wood. But I love that. So I'll just put some on the edges. You know, some people don't worry about this stuff, but oh, Miss Mia decided to bark at person crossing the street 5 blocks down. There we go. So before I put that down, I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to use a permanent black ink. This is Stays On. Whatever black ink you have. I don't like using this stuff when chaos is in the room. I'm going to be very, very quick about it. And I'm going to make this horizontal. So I'll be writing it sideways, which is fine. Okay. Put that aside. Put that aside. Put that in the water. Get my cosmetic sponge in. Water, get in there. Just that's all you need. Okay, so like that. So before I fix that down, before I fix that down, I have a few little embellishments here, and that will be too bright. I like these. So I'm just gonna, these are little pieces that I created in a webinar on alcohol inks. Just going to cover some of the things here, or I can cluster them. Clustering is actually kind of nice, or you can just put them right across. We have nothing here. No, I think I like the idea of kind of filling them in. To break up that pattern. There we go. Because it didn't quite go to the edge. There we go. There, that there. And I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to try liquid glass. When I say try, the bottle is so strong. It's a very stiff bottle. What I like about the liquid glass, it's dimensional, so if I happen to put a little bit too much on there, it'll come out the sides and it'll stay like that. So sometimes that's actually a nice little effect. Like that. Get on there. I think I just came up with another idea. Well, not another idea, but something else that I want to try. I'm going to put more because I want that stuff to come out the sides. Normally you wouldn't want to, but I think this is going to be kind of cute. And when I use this liquid glass, I let everything dry for a good day before doing anything. So I'm going to take this now and I'm just going to lightly, almost like a paint puddle. And I'm going to, okay, I know better. I know better. Then I'm going to take some glamour dust, and this is the crystal. Because this is a holiday card. Oh, that is so pretty. Then I can just adjust that a little bit. Put more in the corner. And come back. Let's see if I can do this without reloading. Yep. I like that. Just a little something extra. Just a little something extra. Put that back in there. And I still will have to wipe that down. And where did my joy go? No, I don't want to use that. Sorry. The glue that I'm using is, I'm going to have to reach. Hold on, let me reach. Is I'm using decoupage, the matte finish. I put it into a little bottle, and then over a couple of hours, just kind of shook it and to kind of evaporate some of the moisture in it. And I use that. That's plugged up. Just like regular glue. But it's clear. And there are little adhesive dots on here. I don't care for. I couldn't get them off, so I was running the risk of possibly damaging it. Just like that. There we go. So there's a cute little ATC that's super simple to make just by using stuff in your stash. Again, using, other than the little girl and the die cut, everything else is stuff that I've already had. I didn't have to buy anything special. So with this, I'm going to let this dry for quite a while. I'm not even going to need to get to it today. So whenever I'm ready to sign everything, I'll go on the back, just sign my name, the title of the ATC, what it's for, and then send it to somebody. All right, so I would love to hear from you. Have you created ATC before? Please share in the comments below. Let me know what kind of ATCs you like to create and some ideas that you picked up from watching this video. Also, if you'd like to share pictures with me of your creations, please email them to me or share them in our private Facebook group. Links to both of those can be found at my website at artplace.ca. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any videos, and there's a lot coming up. And give me a thumbs up if you like what you've seen, and if I was entertaining enough with the cat. All right, so I'm off to create another ATC. So until I see you in the next video, stay inspired.